be demonstrating to you today a root heat corn sheller. These are little corn shellers that were developed back in the early 1900s and or maybe even before then, but their primary purpose was to do a hand shelling, to take one ear of corn at a time and to shell it, and then you could use that corn for planting, such as open pollinated corn. And that was the primary purpose. The root heat corn sheller had a line of 4 different corn shellers. This happens to be the top of the line that they produced sometime between 1904 and 1914. When we found it in this farmer's machine shed, it was pretty well rusted, and it was, but it still was operational. It still turned. The unit was taken apart. All parts were sandblasted, and then it was repainted. The color we chose for this is a burgundy. Although there wasn't a specific color that you could find on the internet for the root heat corn sheller, it was decided that many of the units they had talked about on the internet were a dark red or a burgundy color, and so that's why this one was repainted in that color. It consists of a spring-loaded unit, and you can see as you zoom in here how this moves back and forth, and this spring keeps the cob up against the sheller part. The other parts that we rotated around consist of a clamp mechanism that clamps to the side of the box, or you could drill a hole and attach it directly. The unit had a handle that was pretty well damaged. It looked like some animal had chewed on the handle, and so a new handle was made to recondition it and reproduce the sheller back in its original condition. The corn sheller consists of one main moving part, and this moving part is the knobs, and so when you look at it real closely as he zooms in, you will notice that this part has knobs on it that sticks out. There is a stationary part here that has some spirals, and they are for the purpose of turning the cob as it goes in, and then the cob is ejected out there. So let's start one cob and I'll demonstrate to you. The cob goes in and we start to slowly turn it, and you can see how the corn cob is rotated and the kernels slowly come off as it is being turned in there, and it goes around the spiral. This is spring loaded here so that the front part is always moving and keeps the cob, the ear, up against the unit that brings out. As the cob gets lower and lower down, it sternly stops, and then it brings up and it comes out this corner here and it is ejected. So here we have a cob that is now pretty well, all the kernels been off. So let's do this again, and we're going to do this in regular fast motion and not stop. Put the cob in here and we turn it. And there we have our shelled cob. Thank you.
How many seconds it takes it to shell a piece of corn. So in 3, 2, 1, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. A whole 4 seconds for one piece of corn.
Rather than putting the cob in directly with the narrow end, this time we're going to try it, put it in with the wide end, and see if there is a difference to that. So in 3, 2, 1, we put this in here and we slowly turn it around. As you can see, it doesn't grab it very quickly. It just kind of bounces around, and eventually you got to kind of shove it down, and once you push it in, then it will go, and then it'll keep coming out, and it works fine. So if we take this last one, and to show you the difference, we're going to put this one in point down, and we're not going to push it down, and it just grabs itself and shells itself immediately and comes back out. And so there we have our last cob.